Hey, what's up everybody? It's the Crypto Ginger here. I just wanted to take a brief moment and go over some of the more recent positive news that we've gotten from the XRP community because there are definitely quite a bit of positive resources when it comes to people that are part of the community, and there are definitely those who are making it very entertaining just as well. And of course, I take everything with a grain of salt when it comes to cryptocurrencies in general, not just XRP. But I also take with a grain of salt everything that I get when it comes to getting my information from crypto Twitter and of course online. But I just find it very fascinating that those who are looking at the fundamental aspects of what Ripple's trying to do and the fundamental aspects of XRP, they are definitely working behind the scenes to really help grow the XRP community in some form or fashion. And by that I mean you have those who are out there really trying to elaborate on a very visual scale what's happening with Ripple, what they're trying to do. For example, here, this article from ripplecoinnews.com just shows you basically one of the XRP community members here created this little diagram of really the complete reach right now that we have a firm understanding of with Ripple and XRP. And this diagram was put together very well, as you can see. And I believe this was actually done by someone on Twitter going by the handle of @XRP Center. And of course, this article kind of gives reference to that. You can see that this particular person also listed in reference here all of the very specific connections that allowed for, again, the success of this diagram to be created here. So let's see here. It's actually XRP Research Center, so @XRP Center. Go check them out, definitely. I looked them up on Twitter, and of course the actual diagram on there, I'll leave a link in the description, but the diagram on Twitter actually looks a little bit more visible when it comes to being able to read these smaller fine print words. But I do think that this information here is very, very key when it comes to new people coming into cryptocurrencies, more importantly, new people looking at companies such as Ripple and coins such as XRP to get a firm understanding of how big of a reach Ripple has actually been making here. So definitely check out XRP Center. Good job on this particular diagram if you actually get a chance to watch this video. Moving on here, this article here from xrpcommunity.blog, which is basically another way for the XRP community to address different types of topics regarding XRP or Ripple, and of course connections being made by Ripple. So a fantastic source for different types of information, again coming from other people from the community just as well. This article is an article titled "Random Acts of Kindness" by someone who goes by the name of Gaipen F. I apologize if I'm butchering that name, but I found this article very interesting here because it's the talk of this individual's experience with the XRP Tip Bot, and it actually helped me out. Reading this article allowed me to get very familiar with how the XRP Tip Bot works in regards to my Twitter account, and that's really the only place I've actually had experience using it so far. My suggestion, definitely read this here. You get a general idea of how to actually approach sending someone a tip through Twitter, and also tells you your maximum and minimums that you can send when it comes to the tip amount. Now, this individual here was showing a demonstration as to how you would send an XRP tip to certain people here. Of course, you can see that it was just really a total of 0.04, so 4 cents. And of course, it's just interesting because you can actually send a very minimal amount here. Now, this is just response to that particular tip that was sent out there to those individuals, and of course he got really good responses. So positive feedback, and that's all I've actually seen when it comes to people sending out tips or even receiving tips. It's really exciting to actually start receiving some. I actually received 2 different tips within the last day or so, and it was just, again, very exciting to see how fast that works. Of course, one of the things I wanted to talk about here in this article that I found very interesting, I just didn't really put it into perspective until I actually got here, but outside of explaining how to use the XRP Tip Bot, it says here, it brings me to the following point. Now it is 4 cents that this is the total amount that was sent out, and we're in a red market right now. But guess what? Pick a random number what 1 XRP could be worth in the future. let's just go with the hypothetical of it being $589 for one XRP. Well, then suddenly those gentlemen that actually received those tips there are actually sharing more than $50 between the 7 of them. So you can see how that would add up. Again, it's very exciting to not only, again, receive, but to send it, especially when you see the XRP community doing this when it comes to certain articles being submitted or topics being talked about that really gain some interest in the XRP community and shed some light on what's happening with Ripple. So definitely take advantage of this if you're someone who is part of the XRP community or even are wanting to experiment with this and see how it works. Definitely get on Twitter and find your favorite person you want to follow, and of course start sending them some XRP if you like. Something else here I wanted to quickly go over. With this article here from CryptoGlobe.com, we basically have what looks to be an expansion off of the XRP Tip Bot, and of course this is yet again another developer who's actually created what looks to be a voice activation ability for the XRP Tip Bot on an iOS platform such as an Apple product. And of course, if you are someone who wanted to test this out, I'll leave a link in the description for this article, which all you have to do at that point in time is just simply click on where it says iCloud there. And the idea is that, again, you'll be able to do a voice activated XRP tipping. The video here, as a matter of fact, if you click on there, I won't show it on this just simply for copyright, but it gives you an actual quick visual explanation of how it works so you can see it in action there. But again, if you're someone who is curious and would like to know more about that, definitely click on the link for that. I'm going to use this article for one more thing because I found it very, very interesting here that we have talked about YRX in the past and how big that could potentially be. We have also heard that they could be expanding into the United States just as well. And of course, this article highlights that over 80% of YRX survey respondents prefer XRP, really over any of the other cryptocurrencies that are offered through YRX. I just found that very interesting here. And of course, it says that over 80% said that they preferred to pay for daily transactions using XRP, whereas only 10% wanted to pay with BTC. Notably, the cryptocurrency community is well known for its presence on social media, which could mean the survey results could have been influenced. Well, that is very likely the case. However, we obviously know how fast XRP is by comparison to your top performing coins. We also know that it has the most minimal transaction fee when it comes to being compared to the top performing coins. So really, I think it doesn't take much to have a positive outlook for a coin such as XRP. So even though it could have potentially been influenced, again, I think just simply the fact that XRP is a very superior coin, it really definitely stands out by itself. All right, one last thing I wanted to quickly go over here. This is an article that I found very interesting. It came out yesterday talking about how XRP overtook Bitcoin and Ethereum in number of transactions in the last 24 hours. Now, I'm picking this as a topic to talk about because you actually can check out the chart information yourself. But again, the idea is that as far as transactions are concerned within the last 24 hours, according to the article, when the article was written, again, XRP was above more of your top performing coins, more importantly, Bitcoin. So just in the case you want to know if this is something legit, you can actually click on the highlighted mark there for the Bitcoin infos chart. And of course, look at this. You can see, just scrolling down, it's already highlighted for Bitcoin and XRP by comparison. Transactions in the last 24 hours. This is Bitcoin at 262,000 transactions in the last 24 hours, but look at XRP. So we can definitely see right off the bat that XRP is still one of the more favored coins when it comes to transactions happening out there in the cryptocurrency market and the ecosystem. So I do think that when it comes to the XRP community, guys, there are a substantial amount of people to follow and look into because there's a wealth of knowledge out there. As a matter of fact, I also think that there are a few gems here and there that you will stumble across who I feel like selflessly, continuously provide and do the research for a lot of us so that we can actually all be on the same page. And it just so happens I really feel like this person here, IamLegion, who goes by the handle at Pagan2684 9860. Definitely follow this particular person here. This is definitely someone who is going out there just doing the research, collecting the data, and posting it again on Twitter. Not in an overabundant amount, just right. I think that they are someone who looks at the key things that we should all be on the same page with, so we have a better understanding as to really how deep this is going with Ripple. And again, this is not the only individual who is actually doing that for the XRP community. It just so happens that I personally believe that this is a particular gem when it comes to that kind of information. So again, definitely follow this individual here. As a matter of fact, I want to give a huge shout out to, I've already set this up just for the sake of the time for the video. But yeah, here we go. Just erase that, get this in, and we're going to send this guy 0.5 XRP. Again, I think this person right here is a must follow when it comes to the community, so definitely check it out. And I will link you to this video once I am done, buddy. Here you go, sent it out. And of course, outside of that, guys, again, I definitely think that there's a substantial amount of information on Ripple, the company. You can find it through the XRP community, and I would highly suggest doing so. That way you are all on the same page with everybody else. Outside of that, hit the like and subscribe button, and just as well, take advantage of that link for the Ledger Nano S so that you can get something for securing your cryptocurrencies. And with the holidays coming up, make sure you get something for your family and your friends. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.